Started with the weekly trade review number 45. I'm pretty sure it's looking fine. Going live is the message I'm seeing from YouTube, but you are live. Okay, now I finally got the green light, and the window is also open right now. If it gets too loud outside, I'm gonna pause this for a second. Well, not pause it, but I'm gonna stand up for a second and then make sure to close that window. But I think right now it should be fine. Let me know if it does get too loud, but this is usually a pretty quiet street. The only thing I'm waiting for right now is the fact that YouTube is saying the video is unavailable. Maybe you guys see it, but for me, it's showing that a different message. Pause this first. Okay, now I see it. Now everything is good to go for sure. So I guess we'll go ahead and get started. Sweet. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, my name is Alex Winkler, and I have been I've been trading equities for over 6 years now. And as of the last 2 years, I moved over a lot of my equities trading strategies to the crypto market, and I was able to consistently grow our new crypto fund. And now, for the first time ever, I'm sharing everything that I do online. I put a bunch of fundamental stuff together in a course you guys can always check out if you want to learn everything that I always talk about. And then I also publish all my watch lists, my trade reviews, and all that good stuff. So if you are interested in learning any more or more about all that stuff, just check out the video description below and you're going to get links to everything that you need. In this video, we're going to be talking, or actually, let me just go ahead and go over to the trading screen already. And this is the weekly trade review number 45. And you can see all the posts here. I always post everything on crypto.enzo.com first. In the future, this is going to be trade journal. It's going to be really sick. We're working on that right now, but for actually, I'm going to come out with a future video where I talk about a lot of the upcoming trade journal stuff. So right now, let's just focus on this. There's going to be 5 topics we're going to cover. A little bit of housekeeping, which in this video is really not that much. So we should really be flying through this video fairly quickly today. There's also not as many trades to review this week as well. We'll start off right away, like always, with tradejournal.co stats overview. So we see the weekly overview, and then we're going to dive right away into the top trades and biggest lessons. Then we're going to check out some of the charts, including Bitcoin, altcoin, and some altcoins, and then we're just going to finish up with a Q&A session. If you guys have any questions, I will be more than happy to answer them near the end of the video, and sometimes throughout the video, as long as it's practical. If you guys cannot make these 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time weekly trade reviews, just email me ahead of time if you have any questions, or write me in the Discord trading chat room, and I will make sure to address your question during these weekly trade reviews. Okay, so I think that is everything for a little bit of housekeeping. Also, one thing to keep in mind, and one thing that we always touch on throughout these weekly trade review videos, is kind of a main topic. So this week's main topic is why larger time frames are so important. So when we review all the trades down here, one by one, we're going to be applying how, or be talking about why the larger time frames are so important. And the reason I wanted to highlight that this week is simply because the fact that I started this week off a little choppy, and I messed up a lot of trades this week, and that's why we're under $1,000. And if I just took a step back, got a little less aggressive, and looked at the larger pictures, in general, my trading, I think this week would have been much better, and that's true for every week. So every week when I take a step back and I'm a bit more relaxed with my trading, it usually makes a big difference. This week, I got overly aggressive. I mean, we were hitting bullish trends on the daily, the weekly, the 4-hour, and the hourly. So there was a lot of upside potential, but a lot of times, I just bought a little too early, and then I kind of got out too early, and then we would have the big run up, and then yeah, it was just kind of a little choppy like that. So I want to review these trades, and hopefully that will help you guys improve your own trading. So let's go ahead right away into the the weekly overview. Also, one more thing that I'm going to probably be talking about in this trade review is I just entered an Ethereum trade like 30 minutes before this live stream. Just about where this is the 15-minute chart, so I entered right around here. Yeah, so roughly 30-45 minutes before this live stream. So we're going to be checking the charts every now and then as well. Okay, so let's go back to here. I'm sorry that it's also a little smaller on the screen. I can't really do much about that during the live stream, but I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Also, if you guys want to view all this stuff, just go over to the post. There's a link to this post below in the video description, and you can check out all this stuff on your own time, and everything blows up a lot better. To review this exact weekly trade overview, instead of talking about it from here, this picture, I'm just going to go to my trade journal Google Sheet and talk about it directly from here, because I think this is going to be a little bit bigger font. Let me also zoom in just a bit as well. How do I zoom in? You know what? I think I just need to go up here. Okay, well, last time in my little trial, okay, yeah, here we go. It worked this time. Just one, gotta scroll one back. Sorry guys, this is just how live streaming works. Sometimes there's a lot of inefficiencies. Okay, so hopefully this is zoomed in a little bit more. We're 10% more zoomed in than usual, so I hope this makes a little bit of a difference. So as you can see here on Sunday and Monday, I didn't really do anything. Very chill start of the week, and it wasn't until Tuesday that I actually made my first day trade, and it was quite a loss. I mean, we're gonna review this trade first. It wasn't the biggest percentage loss. It was actually only 1% loss. But since I pay these commission fees, these trading fees that are just so high, I mean, $32 went into this trading fee, and it was one of my biggest position sizes as well, $16,000 for this one position size. So the large position size and just the sheer trading fees brought this P&L to $191. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but that was my first trade, and not too hot. And then on Wednesday, I had 3 more trades, all of which were kind of scratches. The first one was a scratch. The second one was a scratch. It was just a bigger loss, 90 bucks. And then finally, the third one was a huge, nice win, a $330 win. But overall, I mean, just kind of like a messy day. And especially from yesterday. And then the rest of the week, 2 scratches. So nothing really to celebrate about too much. I mean, any profit is better than a loss, obviously, but you know, $63, $65 with a larger position size isn't exactly the most amazing thing. Also, keep in mind, both these trades should be over $100, but it's just those commission fees are just so high. So I think in the next few days and the next few weeks, I'm going to be really putting some focus in on how to reduce my trading fee. Obviously, one of the most obvious ways would simply be going just increase your trading and then going into a new trading fee bracket, especially with Coinbase Pro. I'm going to show you guys a little bit what I mean by that, and check out my Coinbase Pro. So the fees occurred in the last 30 days. In the last 30 days, I'm about at $800 in trading fees. I mean, that's a rent for a lot of people, and that's just what I'm paying to enter and exit positions. And I'm already in the second bracket, and so the trading fees I'm not too hot about. That's why I've been doing a little bit more swing trading lately. The day trading just really racks up the fees, but it's fine. You know, as long as you're you know, profitable consistently, and you have a winning average, you know, it's really no major problem. So I'm not too upset, and I'm really close to getting this to $1 million in trading volume, and that will put me at this 0.08% maker fee, and that should also help just a little bit, you know, bring my trading fees down 20%. I mean, it's not huge, 20% difference on this big amount, but whatever, better than nothing. I will take it. And then I had one swing trade that I closed out on Monday. We'll review, and then as on this weekend, I opened 2 new swing trades, so we'll review those as well. Overall, day trading only bought me 175 bucks this week. Swing trading brought me a little bit more, $362. And overall, I closed this week with $538 profit, and then weekly average went up a little bit. So it went up, you know, just a couple bucks from last week. So pretty good. Keep in mind though, this weekly average is a bit lower simply because we started off around $5,000 position size. So a lot of the trading we did in the beginning, if we were netting 3, 4, 5% per week, in profit, which is what we are, or in account growth, which is what we are averaging right now. The weekly average was just a lot lower back then because obviously the same percentage growth with a smaller account size will give you a lot smaller weekly averages. So we're kind of building up from that level. The account size has grown quite substantially. So a lot of progress on all fronts. I think that's everything for this one. Let's go over to day trades and review kind of our overall ratios a little bit. Actually, before we do this, let's go over the chart and check out the chart. So right now we are here about $10,000 for 2019, nothing too crazy, but again, like I said, we are growing this account from a small amount. So as our account size grows, ideally, hopefully if everything goes well, and we maintain this nice upstreak, we will be growing the account a bit faster. So actually what we're gonna do right now is just go ahead and prepare this for this week. And let me just remove all this information. And then also let me set it up for the new week. Guys, if you have any questions about this, remember we have a bunch of tutorial videos at tradejournal.co where we talk about the Google Sheet pretty in-depthly. I think there's 8 tutorial videos and I have a few more planned. So this is for the new week. And now you can see with the chart actually that it is kind of flatlined right here because that's the new week. And coming back to the day trades, we have our profit is roughly 4,697 and 60% winning ratio. My average position size has gone up a lot lately with about $9,000 per entry. You can see my recent position sizes are much more than that. So we're really pulling up our position sizes from the beginning where they were around $4,000, $5,000. So big increases there on that front. The winning average is 1.64%, and then the average loss is 0.87%. So we cut our losses quickly and we take our profits quickly, and that's what it's all about. I like to take my profits around 2 to 3%, but since we were in kind of a bullish trend for a long time, I like to take my profits even quicker, because the worst thing is when you're up 2% or 1.5%, and you could have took your profits, you could have made like a clean 200 bucks, but then the market moves against you and you have to close out for a small loss. There's nothing worse than when that happens. And I have to admit, I have been taking my profits a little too quickly lately, but I'm not complaining because my chart is consistently going upwards. And if I didn't do that, maybe it wouldn't go up like that. So I'd rather have a little bit slower account growth than, just really start messing up trades. All right, I think that covers the overview. All right, a little pause. Let's see what this Aetherium trade is doing. I'm not gonna lie, it's quite intense right now. So we're up a little bit. I definitely got in just a tad too early. I was really looking at this trend line and then we cracked it for a second. And it was kind of nice because I was able to average in my position a little bit in this dip. And then we bounced right back up. So it wasn't too sketchy, but right now we're up also about 1.4%. And my ideal exit, if we can zoom out just a little bit further, is right here at the 274 mark. Here you can see it. So I already put a little exit thing there just to keep in mind of where I would like to get out. We might have a much bigger run, but I'm just going to keep this in mind. And we're going to hopefully be talking about this trade a little bit more near the end of the video. So if we had a classic bull flag breakout, we might even see a breakout from this level past the $280 level, but I'm playing this very conservatively. I would like to get out before a potential second breakout. That's kind of my plan for this. Guys, remember, this is not a swing trade. This is not an investing kind of setup. This is a pure day trade, and let's not get that mixed up. Okay, so the first thing we want to do right now is go ahead and talk about the top trades and the biggest lessons. And the first trade we're going to look at is the one that I already started talking about just a little bit, and that is this day trade. Again, it wasn't the biggest loss, and I think it was a breakout bounce trade, which typically isn't that bad for me. I really suck at trading breakouts, but breakout bounces are a bit better statistically. Actually, let's go ahead. It's not the best ratio for me. I think, let's see where we're at. Breakout bounce, it's about a 46.15% average on those. So yeah, it's not my best pattern, and I probably should just start avoiding it more often. But in a bull market, they can be very, very good. But let's talk about why this one didn't really work so well. So we were building up a lot of bullish momentum here, higher highs and higher lows, and then eventually we broke out from this area, and there was some major resistance here originally. And I thought, once we break out of this, we're going to come back here, bounce it, retest it, make a new launch pad, and then, really continue our way up. And in a way, that's kind of what happened in the long term. But in the short term, we got completely rejected from this level. And I just, cut my losses, got out of this position, because you don't know, what's going to happen next week, what's going to happen tomorrow, what's even going to happen in the next hour. We're just trying to play the odds in our favor and, look at key support and resistance areas and take profits and cut losses quickly when it comes to day trading. So that's what we did here. I simply got out of this. I mean, you don't know if we're gonna make a new low and there's gonna be a reversal from this bullish momentum we've been having. So that's exactly what I did here. I'm not really upset about this trade at all. I really liked how I waited for the price to come back, but this trade just didn't work out. Remember, guys, there is nothing wrong with taking a loss, but you don't want to take a big loss. So, if the trade is not going your way, just get out of the trade. I guess we'll quickly talk about the swing trade I just closed out, and also to highlight the swing trades a little bit. I've been on quite a streak with my swing trading for 2019. Right now I'm at 100% winning ratio, which is definitely way higher than I feel like it should be, but I don't want to jinx myself. And I'm also not going to be overly confident. Like if this can stop with the next trade. So I'm just going to keep that in mind. I'm not going to take way too much risk for no reason, and I'm just going to be playing it like I have been playing it. Again, we are basically in a bullish market. I talked about that a lot in my last video. If you have not checked it out, definitely check it out. It's all about swing trading, and so far some really good feedback from that. It was the last video I uploaded. There's also a link to it in the video description below. So my swing trading positions are on average a bit smaller, but my winning averages is much more than my day trading. Obviously, I'm looking for bigger moves. So let me just kind of tell you guys right now that you can see here my last position size, $3,000 or $3,200, and then the position size of my next trade, my most recent one, ADA, is only 3,562. So relatively small position sizes. I want to grow my swing trading to about $5,000 minimum per swing trade, but we're gonna get there slowly. Right now, I've like the perfect amount of funds for about $6,000 for my swing trading, so that will keep building up. I was just thinking, I reviewed this trade actually in my my last video, so I'm not going to talk about it too much here, but just to kind of give you guys a general idea, this was a support line bounce. Let's do this zoomed out screen a little bit more. I think this is a daily chart. So we had huge resistance in this area, and we constantly got rejected from these areas over and over again. Eventually we broke out of it, and then we really held this area for a pretty long time, and we also broke above the moving average. And that is when I decided that I want to enter this trade, because we are holding our highs, we are in a bullish trend, and this coin is now making higher highs and finding new support where there was a former resistance. So that's why I entered this trade. And then all I did was place a ideal exit order not too far from my entry where I thought there was going to be big resistance. And that's kind of how this whole trade played out. I'm going to leave it at that. If you guys want to learn more about this trade, I talked about it quite extensively in my last video. So I think I'm going to end it there for this one. Yeah, so I think this week I did a lot of support line bounces again. It's one of my favorite setups. It's just very clean and easy, and I think anyone could really get into support line bounces quick. So this trade, I really just kind of butchered this trade. I kind of chickened myself out of this trade for no reason. This could have been a phenomenal trade. And let's just look at the chart. This is, I think, a 5-minute chart, maybe a 15-minute. This is actually a 1-minute chart. The other one is, this is a 15-minute. But let's start with the 1 minute. And And oh God, I can't even look at this. This is just painful. So we were riding down here, constantly getting rejected from this moving average, making lower lows. And then we hit this support line and we bounced off of it so nicely. And here's why I got out of it too early. Because when we had this, I was looking for more of a waterfall pattern, and a waterfall pattern typically will have a dip here, a second dip, maybe a third dip, and then near a former shoulder, we'll start kind of consolidating. And when we got rejected here, I just thought, there's so much selling pressure and I don't want to be involved when this thing collapses. So I got out. I got out just minutes or moments too soon. So this one's a little painful, and I ended this one for a small scratch, even a loss. How painful is that? What's crazy about this trade though, it was actually a profitable trade. I made 0.12% off of this trade, but since I had these massive trading fees, it brought my P&L actually negative. So, but either way, anything under $100 P&L to me, or 1%, is more or less a scratch. It didn't really work out. Or I would say not really $100 or 1%. I would say more 0.5% or $100 is more or less a scratch. So it's not a real loss. It's not a real profit. It's just it was I don't know, better just left undone, a scratch. So yeah, this would have been beautiful. I probably would have held it into this chop and waited for a breakout from this area. I don't think I would have sold into here. I would have probably sold near this shoulder, so I probably would have got out right around here. But still would have been 3-4% profit, and that is huge with these account sizes. That would have been like a $600 trade. So let's move on. The next trade was, again, this trade actually doesn't bother me nearly as much, because this trade, I saved myself. I mean, this trade could have been really bad. This again was a support line bounce. We had a huge breakout here, like you saw, and then we bounced off this level. And again, I was waiting for a reversal, huge launch pad kind of movement. I love these breakout bounces when they work like that. Sometimes they really do, and they're really nice. Again, this one didn't work out, and we kind of just constantly kept breaking down here. I should have got out earlier into this chop, but I remember this, was missing my ideal exit stop order. So this didn't break out, and then this happened, and then I had my my exit around this shoulder. We didn't reach it, and then I kept on moving it down, and then here I kind of put my new stop right around here, and we didn't reach it, and then eventually we did reach it, and I got out. And I was so happy I got out, because we went a little higher. I could have had a better exit, but then we crashed really hard, and you're going to see this a lot better in maybe the longer term view. But yeah, I got out right here, and then check out this drop. Imagine I got out somewhere down here. This would have been like a $1,500 loss. So I got really lucky there. Well, I had a stop loss ready, so I would have got out earlier, but just imagine taking a loss like that. So if the trade is not going your way, I played this one a little too aggressively. I probably should have just got out into kind of this nonsense, because I got really lucky that we spiked out before this crash. So just keep that in mind. I mean, the second your trading thesis is no longer validated. So, right, I was looking for a breakout bounce, right? The second we didn't get a breakout bounce, all this is just chop and hoping that the trade will turn around. So which means my trading thesis is no longer valid. So when that happens, just get out of the trade and look for the next trade, because if you don't, you might, one, take a big loss, but two, you might miss a beautiful trading opportunity. And that is what happened on my next trade. This was on the 22nd. This was actually the same day. Where is that? 22nd? Right here. It was Wednesday. So this was a Wednesday. This was just pure chaos. And let me, I think this was, again, a support line bounce. Yeah, it was a support line bounce. And I could have done, 4 or 5% on this trade. But again, I like to take my profits quickly, because you don't know when things are going to go crazy. Or if it's going to go up or down at one point. It's all about taking calculated risks. I feel like I say that too much, but that's really what it's all about. So we're not trying to predict which way the market's going. We just know that there's probably a decent amount of support here, and there's a decent amount of resistance here. And right now, we're closer to support, so there's more chance of upside than potential downside risk. And that's what support lines bounces are all about. So yeah, let's go to the chart, because this one really speaks for itself. That's a 5 minute. This is a 1 minute, so it's a little bit better. So here is when I got out of the last trade. Just check this out. So I got out of this trade, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes later was just pure Armageddon. And I'm pretty happy I got out. So wait, this is back to the 5-minute chart. And just in about 2 minutes was where most of the losses happened. This was actually really, really tough to trade. I entered right around here when we found our first support. You know, I could have probably averaged in and maybe bought a second position here, but I didn't get lucky enough to have that. But what was really crazy about this is Coinbase was just not working with me whatsoever. It was so tough to trade this. Let's go over to Coinbase right now. Maybe I can show you guys a little example of this. So here you can see how Coinbase is just barely loading right now, and I don't really think it's my internet. I really think it's just some weird Coinbase flaw. And then you'll notice here that the price is moving, right? But the chart isn't really moving. And just, well, we just loaded the page, but look, so right now the price is moving. It's at 68.09 and the chart is still at 68.49 and it's just not moving. So when the price was running against me like crazy, or not really against me, nothing was really happening. When this was happening, the price on the chart of Coinbase did not change whatsoever. I was constantly refreshing it to get the latest chart, and I had just no idea what was going on, and it was just crazy trading. And so what I did was I simply used the tradingview.com chart, and I just went into the minute like this. And I was just trading based on what this chart was telling me, because it's a direct feed from Coinbase. But I mean, this is not how you want to be trading. I didn't have the order book really to help me. I mean, it was just pure chaos. So I don't know. That was really a horror story. And I did make a little tweet to Coinbase about it, but I think I'm going to write them again. And I mean, this is just not good for trading whatsoever. I was really kind of traumatized by that experience. Okay, so that's everything for this trade. Again, you can see I definitely got out too early. I thought I got out at a great time. I got out near this perfect high, but then again, then we shot up, another 2.5 times. So, whatever. I definitely left profits on the table, but you typically don't think that after a massive dip like this, you're going to run up past the former shoulder. I mean, that's not really something you're expecting, but it happened. It was such a crazy day. The next trade was very similar. I was trading a double bottom. So we just, let's just dive right into it. So here was the general support area that I traded initially. And then we came back to this where we had former support, and I kind of entered this too early. You can kind of see an ascending channel forming right here, and then we broke down to the downside, and I don't know why I got out right away, because this is actually a bullish sign. If an ascending channel breakdown gets rejected and we have upwards momentum, so I got out too early. But actually a big reason why I got out of this trade, and you can see right here, I did not want to hold overnight. I think this one would have worked out, but I'm going to get offline. But I'm getting offline. What a wild market we are having tonight. I really have no idea what's going on. It's pure chaos. I've never seen Coinbase act so irrational. This was me talking about how annoying it was to trade on Coinbase, not to mention extremely glitchy. So that's kind of why I got out of this trade. I did like my entry. I could have averaged down, but overall, I really liked the upside potential, but it was already past midnight and I was super tired. I was entering numbers in backwards, and when you're like seeing things in 3D, or whatever, like you have beer goggles on or something like that, that's not when you want to be trading. And that's how I felt. And I got into this trade because I really liked the setup. But then I just kind of got out too early because I was tired, and you don't ever want to trade when you're tired, when you're sick, when you're hungover, when you're stoned. I don't know, just don't trade if you're not really focused, because you can lose a lot of money very quickly, and you'll definitely make some bad decisions. So just keep that in mind. This is kind of a cool chart because you can see, what would have happened maybe if I was irrational and, I started hoping and I was tired and blah, blah, blah. I mean, most likely I would have got out probably in this chop because that's just what I do. I get out very early. But, you can see here, if I just, went to bed and didn't have an ideal exit order, I didn't have a stop loss. I mean, I would have woke up with a big loss. And so I'm pretty happy I just got out of that trade. Let's go to the next one again. What is this one? Ascending triangle. This one. Okay. So We had one of the students in the chat room, Shalana, actually, had a killer trade off of this pattern. I kind of butchered it a little bit, but I'm happy that one of my students was able to really profit off of this trade. Here you can even see me, could have been much better, but momentum seemed to be fading, and I didn't want to be getting in the way of a crashing price. I only took one picture of this, but if you know what the price is doing right now, let's just go to Litecoin quickly. Maybe hit the 15-minute chart. If you know what's happening on the Litecoin right now, it's at $114. So that kind of sums up this trade right here. I just got out way too early, and this was just a few days ago. Actually, what day was this? This was on the 24th. Right now it's the 27th. So this was 3 days ago. And I thought I had a pretty nice purchase. We had a nice ascending channel here. I waited till we had a breakout and then like a little bounce. I was really happy with my exit, but then, the breakout was just, I was really looking for something like this, just continuous movement to the upside, and we just constantly got rejected here, and I really didn't like it. I thought we were going to have a huge crash at this point, so I got out a little too early, but I just kind of, if the trade is not going your way, guys, I can't say this enough, just get out of the trade. There is no reason to risk it, and that's exactly what I did on this one. One second. Okay, I don't want to get out of my flow, but I just had to do something quickly. Yeah, so that was this trade. If I should have really treated this like a swing trade, because this one really ran up nicely. So a little upsetting how this one turned out. This could have been a huge winner, but overall, I'm not too upset at the same time, because you're not going to go broke taking profits, even if they're small profits, and cutting your losses quickly. So that's kind of how that trade turned out. And let's quickly review these last two, XRP and ADA. I'm just going to go ahead and close them right now because they're not too important, or those posts aren't too important. But let me go over to these on the trading screen, and then we could kind of review them a little bit more. So ADA was my most recent entry for a swing position, and you can see it here. It was yesterday I entered this swing trade. This is not it. This is what I recently closed out of, and I entered when I had a position right around here. I think something about 0.075 area. I was waiting for a bigger crash. I also had a second entry right here, but we just constantly were getting too much bullish support. And when I didn't think we were going to keep crashing anymore, and we were kind of breaking out to the upside, and Litecoin broke out tremendously, I just went ahead and entered this position. And it's going to be hard to see my exit position, but here's roughly where my ideal exit would be. And if we go over to right now this Kraken, if we go to Binance, it's a bit better of a view. Yeah, so my ideal exit is right around this area. 0.112, I think, is my ideal exit. So I'm looking for a little break above these past two, this kind of double top area. So that is my goal for this trade. Just a break past here. I could be a little bit more conservative and look for a break, maybe like a triple top or something like that. But I think there's so much bullish momentum right now in the market that I'm going to be a bit more aggressive and look for a bigger breakout. The second trade I want to talk about quickly is XRP, which I entered the day before. And I actually talk about this one in the video from yesterday as well. So I'm not going to talk about this trade too much on this video to save everyone a little bit of time, because we're already over 30 minutes. This is the little animation, or not animation, a little line I drew from the video, from yesterday's video, or what was that actually? I think it was Friday's video, and I uploaded it Saturday. So this is a little bit of line that I drew. I was thinking here we're holding our highs very nicely. There's a lot of support right here, and we had a little bounce off the support line. So that's when I entered the trade. Here could have been a second entry for anyone that missed it. Like I say, my first entry is usually not my best entry, and you typically always have a second chance to enter a trade. So if you ever see me entering a trade, a swing trade, day trade, or whatever, and you're like, oh, I missed it, don't chase it. Don't try to, get on the train that's getting away, because a lot of times the train will come back. And that happens all the time when you see something like this, and just don't chase it, because if you're chasing into these areas and then all of a sudden you have a big negative position, I mean, that's not fun either. So to me as a trader, it's better to be a little bit more conservative. That's always helped me. So yeah, I'm looking for this trade to sell where there's a lot of resistance right here. So yeah, ideally I want to get out a little bit earlier for this XRP. Again, this is not an investment. This is not a day trade. If this was a day trade, I would already be way out of this trade. This is a swing trade, so I'm looking for a bit bigger of returns. And I already outlined both these trades. Here you can see that my ideal exit is already put into play. I also have my ideal exit already, the limit order already created in the exchange. ADA, I believe, is on Kraken, and XRP is on Coinbase Pro. So both these ideal stops are already in place. Is there anything else I want to review? Let's see. No, I think that is everything for the trading recap. Let's go ahead and very quickly talk a little bit about the charts. I know that we've been looking at the charts kind of a lot already, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. But one thing I do like to go over is this is my watch list, and 5 times per week on average, I come out with a watch list where I talk about my last trades, some of the market trends, and exactly different coins I'm looking at. So if you want to have access to this, go ahead and just come down here, scroll down, and check out. You can check out really everything that I really talk about, and it's $27 a month, and you get access to all my watch list, all my real-time trades documented, my investor portfolio, which is finally growing a little bit. You also get access to the Discord private trading chat room where I talk about all my trades before, during, and after, and just the community is really getting more and more active. It's a really fun place, and I'm so proud of all the people in there, because they are just killing it all the time, and sometimes better than I am. And what else? Oh yeah, you also get access to the statistically backed chart pattern library, which is basically all of my chart patterns with profit and losses, or all my trades documented behind them. So you can see my winning ratios for each chart pattern, and kind of learn which chart patterns might work best for you based on which ones work best for me. I know we all have different trading styles, and everything works differently for everyone. Some people are killer at buying breakouts. That's not really my favorite chart pattern. So you could kind of see what works for me and then start tweaking it for yourself, and then hopefully find a nice setup with that. If you'd like to get a little bit more, build a bit more of a foundation, just check out this full course up here. There's over 50 videos that talk about everything that I do. So you'll no longer watch one of these videos and have, not be totally sure about what I'm talking about. So if you are really interested in really building a larger foundation for your trading, just come over here and check it out. It's a one-time fee, $3.95. You also get access to the Discord trading chat room, and there was over 100 students that joined on launch day, so that it is tested. We also have a few testimonials that came in recently. I think we are at 3, and I think I just had 2 more come in recently that I'll be adding to the site. And most of these are from the Discord trading chat room, where people can post or ask people to post reviews once they finish the course. One of them is from David Shipley, who is very active in the course, and he recently said, thanks for the signal, made money, get his course. That's really awesome to hear. So thanks for that, David Shipley. And yeah, so cool, guys. If you want to learn more about it, I'm not going to talk about it too much on this video, but that's what it's all about. So without further ado, let's go ahead and check out the charts. Woohoo! Let me quickly see. All right, I'm going to exit out of this. What do we want to talk about? I definitely want to talk about Ethereum for a second. Litecoin had a big breakout. We all know that. Some swing trade sell orders. Let's just do BTC, BTC shorts, and then let's also talk about the Ethereum for a second. And yeah, we'll wrap it up there. Let me close this. Close everything that I don't need because my internet is slow, my computer is slower. Welcome everyone. All right, cool. So let's get back to it. BTC USD shorts, kind of an interesting day today. They're down 4.4%. Which, you know, kind of worries me a little bit. Obviously, when shorts go down, it means people have to buy, which brings the price up kind of artificially. But you know, what I like a lot is when the market is going up, but shorts are going up a lot too, because then once shorts start covering, we have kind of a blow off top and we have a lot of upward momentum. But we recently saw, you know, a lot of support come in here for the shorts, and the shorts are kind of piling up right now. And there's a bit of profit taking going on, but or maybe you could say some people cutting their losses more than anything right now, some short positions. So I never really put too much value on what the BTC USD shorts are doing. There's oftentimes just complete uncorrelation in it. So just kind of moving on from that. But actually, let's come back for 1 second. Just keep in mind that there are kind of huge price trends when it comes to BTC USD shorts. And every time that the shorts come up to these levels, we tend to see a bit of a reversal. And the same is for these levels. We also see a bit of a reversal in the price. And well, right now we're definitely chilling in these levels. What would be really interesting is if we actually crash down here, and instead of the support, if this became new resistance. I think that would be something really interesting. And I think that would be a very big indicator that we are fully in a bull market, which my last video I talked about quite extensively. We are definitely in a bull market already, but it would be pretty cool to see a little bit more of the short action confirming it. All right, guys, we are at 40 minutes, a little bit over time, but if I can end this video at under 45 minutes, that'd be pretty sweet. And I think we can do it. So BTC is just constantly going up. This is Bitstamp. I typically don't use this one. Let's go to this one. I think this is going to be Coinbase. Yeah. You can see there's a lot more activity here. So we finally had the big breakout from the $8,300 level, which we saw constant resistance at. Today we had the big breakout, and I am not really sure if we're going to get a breakout bounce. We might get it, but right now this could just be a small pause and a continuation move to the upside. Where would we see maybe some new potential resistance? I'm sure you already have a good idea, and there's a lot of videos that talk about this, but what I like to do is just find out areas where we had big resistance or big support in the past. And I would say this $10,000 area looks kind of enticing. We had a big breakout from this $10,000 area originally near the end of this bullish run. The price almost came back to it. And then we had right here one of the last major peaks before this massive downturn. So there's probably going to be a lot of very old orders maybe waiting around this point, and we're just going to put a little line right here. You know what, let's go ahead and make it a longer trend line. Or actually, let's keep it green for now. Whoop. So this will be a fairly interesting price range just to keep an eye on. And you know what? I think I'm going to make it 2 because there seems to be a bit more support maybe right around here at this $11,000 area, and I kind of want to keep that in mind, or I should say resistance and support. And then I'm going to make a second one right under it where we were originally talking about it. So this could be a bit of a range for us right here. So definitely we'll keep this 10,000 area in mind, but there could be a chance that we're going to bounce up to, you know, maybe a little bit under $11,000 or something like that. Somewhere in this range is very, very likely. So let's see if we're going to continue this range, and then we'll probably see quite a bit of resistance in this area just because this is where you know, we had a former ceiling. So let's see if we can break this $10,000 area. I think it's going to be a huge psychological area. I mean, just getting back into the 5 digits will be really interesting, and I think it'll probably make a lot of headlines, and that could spur a bit more buying from retailers before you know, people really start to take profits. But we'll keep an eye on this. Should be really interesting the next few days here. The last thing I want to talk about is just Ethereum. And Ethereum is kind of interesting right now, obviously, because we have a small position on Ethereum. As you can see here, we entered right here, right before this big dip, actually, which is typically not the style I trade. I typically wait for something like this afterwards. So if we do have a bit of a dip here, blah, 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 and some chop, and then we eventually start coming back to the upside, there's a big confirmation that the trend line held, and then I like to enter the trade. So I got a little overly aggressive. Why did I get, I would say, overly aggressive on this trade? And I would simply say it's because we are in a bullish trend on the weekly, on the daily, on the 4 hour, on the 1 hour, and there's just a lot of bullish indicators, and there's a big chance we're going to break out from this level, and I really just didn't want to miss the move, so I was a little overly aggressive, but yeah, gives you kind of a general idea. Is there anything else I want to talk about? A lot of times you'll see actually a breakout with a little bit of consolidation like we're seeing here, kind of an ascending channel or a horizontal channel, and then we'll continue our move to the upside. And that's what this green line is. A lot of times the second move is the same length as the first move. So I just went ahead and drew that kind of right here. And yeah, we'll be taking our profits way before this. This is a day trade, this is a swing trade, and typically like this, I like to do with all my day trades, I like to take profits between 2 and 3%. So I'll probably be getting out of this trade just a little bit after this live stream. And if you're interested to learn more about this day trade in real time, just go into the Discord private trading chat room, because I will be talking about everything there in real time. Okay guys, I'm gonna wrap up the video here, or the live stream here. I hope that made sense to everyone. I am kind of exhausted. I think I need a coffee break. I think tomorrow or Wednesday I'll be coming out with another video, and then again guys, always for Monday 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, if you have any questions, you can ask them to me on these live streams, and I will be happy to finish up all my live streams with a Q&A session. So till next time guys, I think that is everything for me for now. So have a good Monday and have a good rest of the week. Ciao ciao.